Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my channel, and this is my first video after Hurricane Tammy, and it's a beautiful day in St. Kitts-NEVIS. I'm on the island of Nevis now. It's close to 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna do a quick workout, but I just thought that I would bring this story to you. Now, several days ago, I saw this story that broke in the international news. Some Russians have come together and they are doing a petition against the Citizen by Investment program in St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, what these Russians are saying is that they paid $150,000 plus 40,000 US dollars, which amounted to 190,000 US dollars for the St. Kitts-NEVIS passport. And then they received approval, and then shortly after they would have received some information to say they cannot get their passport. However, after being denied their passport, they are still waiting for their money. Money is to be returned, and it's been like over a year now, and there's no communication or nothing coming from the government. So they're coming together now and doing a petition against the Citizen by Investment program in St. Kitts-NEVIS. Now, let me explain to you why St. Kitts-NEVIS no longer give citizenship to Russia, no longer accept Russians and Iranians and people from Belarus and so. Because you remember some time ago, there's a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. And since that war started, immediately the European Union and America placed sanctions on the Russians. So the Russians are under sanctions. So what happened is that St. Kitts-NEVIS was dragged into this and pressured by the European Union and the Americans to stop the citizenship by investment program being offered to Russians. So maybe that's why they would have received the denial after they would have been accepted. And why do Russians need St. Kitts-NEVIS passport? They don't need it to come here, because Russians can travel to St. Kitts-NEVIS visa-free on their own passport. However, having a St. Kitts-NEVIS passport enable you to travel the whole of Europe visa-free. The whole European countries, 20-something of them, visa-free. And that is why our passport is so powerful, and that is why people all around the world want to buy our citizenship so that they could travel to Europe. Now, this is why it's a very serious matter, because the European Union now is threatening to stop our citizenship by investment program. And how they're threatening to stop it is that remember I told you, on a St. Kitts-NEVIS passport, people can travel the whole of Europe visa-free. If the European Union stop St. Kitts-NEVIS passport holders from getting visa-free access to Europe, then automatically, overnight, it would kill the citizenship by investment program in St. Kitts-NEVIS, because that our passport will no longer be valuable. Persons around the world will no longer want to purchase our passport because they won't be able to get into Europe anyway. So that will destroy our citizenship by investment program overnight. That is why the government here is forced to listen to whatever Europe has to say. Whoever Europe say they don't want, the government here cannot accept them, because they would be risking that European Union will stop the citizenship by investment program. And if they stop it, that means that 52% of our revenue here on St. Kitts-NEVIS will be destroyed overnight. because the government is now saying 52% of our revenue comes from CBI. And I find it disheartening that all this money is coming in and we're not seeing any significant growth in our agriculture industry. We're not seeing any manufacturing industries being created. Nothing sustainable. All we're depending on is citizenship by investment. And most of you, a lot of you who work for STEP, guess where the money comes from? Citizenship by investment program. That's where the money is coming from. So if that program is stopped, then all STEP workers in St. Kitts-NEVIS will be jobless overnight, because there will be no money remaining to supply those jobs to the citizens, because the money is coming from the revenue gain from citizenship by investment program. And what I'm saying, for the European Union to threaten these small Caribbean islands who depend so much on citizenship by investment program, they're threatening to stop it and destroy our economy overnight. I mean, this is crazy, because we know that these Caribbean islands were colonized by Europe, France, England, the Netherlands, Portugal, all of them over there. They colonized these Caribbean islands and enslaved us here on this island for hundreds of years. And then after they would have made their money, build up Europe off of our forefathers' blood, sweat and tears, they disappeared and left these islands in poverty. No reparations, nothing like that. And then now they're coming back today to say they're threatening to destroy our economy again. And this is why I say to Caribbean governments, you have to stand up. You have to join forces with Africa. Let us use our money, citizenship by investment program, to get some direct flights from the Caribbean, St. Kitts-NEVIS, straight to West Africa. Let us develop trade routes where we can trade food and services directly to Africa. So, because if, let's say tomorrow, the European Union keep a meeting and stop the citizenship by investment program, stop the visa-free program, then St. Kitts-NEVIS citizens will no longer be able to travel to Europe visa-free. We cannot go to the US visa-free. We need a visa to go to America. Then Canada will follow the European Union and America, and Canada will say we need a visa too, because all of them are friends. They will follow each other. And then this will leave the islands, the Caribbean islands, isolated and a loss of 52% of their revenue. And they will be isolated here in poverty. And then we will be trapped almost like prisoners on an island here with no revenue, nothing like that. And this is what I'm saying. We need to focus now on building up our capacity. Let us get some sustainable jobs in place, some sustainable industries. Let us work with Africa and let us build up ourselves, because we can't depend on Europe. These Caribbean governments are like puppets to the European Union and America, because they depend on them. They don't depend on them for anything, but somehow they listen to them. Whatever the European Union says, whatever America says, the Caribbean has to do, because the Caribbean economy is kind of tied up with America and Europe. We depend on tourism. That is because over the years we would have inherited a colonial system where we must depend on Europe and we are connected to America, and we're isolated from Africa and the Middle East area over there. But we have the power to end this isolation and connect to Africa. This is why this channel was really started, to bridge the gap between the Caribbean islands and Africa, because I think this is our only hope at this time. The European Union and America is working together. Obviously, they don't care nothing about the Caribbean because they're not doing anything here. We're not seeing any investment coming from America or Europe. But America is right there. The richest nation in the world is right next to us, and they're not giving us anything. Taiwan is not even recognized as a real country because Taiwan is kind of owned by China. And Taiwan is doing more than the great United States of America in the Caribbean. But we can't even go to the America visa-free. But we're like puppets to them. Whatever they say do, we have to do. I don't understand that. Can the Caribbean governments or can the government of St. Kitts and Nevis explain to me why we have to listen to America when they're not giving us anything? They're not giving us anything. In fact, I think we should give visa to America. We should say all Americans who want to come to St. Kitts and Nevis, they get visa-free access, but they pay $100 US dollars at the airport when they come. Visa on entry. That is what I think we should do, because we're paying visa to enter America, but we need a visa to go there. Makes no sense. But we still have to listen to everything they say. Makes no sense. But back to the story. This petition is serious because these Russians are coming together, and Iranians as well, and they will be launching a petition against St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program, and this can gain momentum. So the government need to come out, they need to contact these people, whatever they need to do to fix this problem, because we may very well depend on the Russians and the Iranians, because if the European Union stop the visa-free entry for St. Kitts and Nevis passport holders, that will kill our Citizenship by Investment Program. All step workers will be unemployed. 52% of our revenue will be lost. Who will we turn to? We won't be able to turn to Europe because they're not giving us anything anyway. America is not giving us anything. We will still have to turn to the Russians and Iranians to get investment here on island. And I propose that if the European Union stop visa-free access for St. Kitts and Nevis citizens, passport holders to Europe, I recommend that we have no choice but to develop strong relations with the Iranians and the Russians and Saudi Arabia and those Middle Eastern countries, because we will need help on this island. So I think that's the way to go. Join with Africa. Let us use our money to get direct flights and trade routes, because Africa has a lot of food. West Africa is right there. We can get all our food from Africa. Food and material, and where we have intelligent people here, we can trade knowledge as well and education. It's a win-win situation. So I don't understand why we're not doing it. So let us get that started. And I'm gonna end this video now because you won't believe I'm going a little bit over time because I need to get in a little workout now. But gonna do a little workout, and I hope most of you understood what I said, because what I find is that people living here don't have any information. They don't know what's happening, and the lawyers are not gonna say anything because the lawyers are being paid from the Citizenship by Investment Program. Whenever anybody applies to the Citizenship by Investment Program, the lawyers are being paid heavily in fees. That is why the lady said she paid $40,000 US in fees, passport fees. Those monies are going to the lawyers. So of course they're not gonna talk anything about it. They're not gonna let the people know what's happening. because they're benefiting directly. But for myself and the ordinary citizens out there, we're not benefiting much from it. And another thing, we don't even know how much money is in the Citizenship by Investment program. And I think the reason for that is because if you don't know how much money is somewhere, then you won't be able to demand the better treatment. Because let's say you're working for someone, an employer, and you have the idea that he's making $10,000 a month, but he's paying you $1,000. Then you're gonna say that's reasonable because he has a lot of bills and everything and so. But let's say he's making $1 million a month, then you won't accept the $1,000 because you're gonna say, man, you're making $1 million. You could at least afford to pay me $20,000 a month. So that is why I think the government is keeping a secret about how much money is there, because they don't want the citizens to demand more, and also they don't want the international community to know how much money is in there. I think maybe billions of dollars may be in there right now. Maybe $50 to $100 billion is in the Citizenship by Investment program. I don't know, but it's a lot of money. And definitely we need to treat our people better. Use that money to develop real industries, as I said before. Let's create jobs for a population of 48,000 people here in St. Kitts-NEVIS. We should have 100% employment. 100% employment. Everybody should be taken care of. Let us use our money to strengthen our people and build our country. And thank you for watching this video. I'll see you again in the next video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscription button and like this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Much love. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.